My my phone my phone overheated. Second time that's happened. Whoopsie daisies. My bad, brother. My phone overheated. For for lives. Just sent. All right. My
All
bad.
right, here we go. All good. All
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Anyway, you were saying
Yeah. Um, I'm sorry, I forgot what we were talking about.
we were talking about Shizzy and how
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
What I was about to say was like in the same sense of like when he cuts down weight, people are like, no, no shot, this guy's natural. I personally like I personally, when I look at my physique, I'm like, okay, that's a very natural physique. But online, if I were to gain 10, 15 pounds and I'm a little bit fluffier, I look like a normal guy. You know what I mean? Like nobody's batting an eye at that. But
right,
the second I, lose 10, 15 pounds and I get back to, somewhere around 7, 8% body fat, and you can see veins in my stomach and this and that, people are
right,
immediately like, absolutely no shot in hell, this guy's natural.
right.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's just the deceiving eye of social media, man.
Agreed. Agreed. Yeah, man. It's a shame. And then it's like I don't know. I would say that like in the time that like you and I connected originally, like 2023,
Yeah.
2023. My like the push that I want to start suggesting is that like you're special, Shizzy's special, I'm special, but the person who's like looking at our physiques with envy, like you got to figure out what makes you special as well. And maybe it's not having an incredibly aesthetic physique at any level of body composition, but maybe your physique is good for fucking rowing.
I think a great comparison of that is something I literally watched today. If you know who Marcus Fit is,
He sounds
he's
very familiar, yeah.
he's another pretty big creator in the fitness community. He did a reaction video today that I just saw on my feed. It was another dude that and the caption was, "How long do you think it would take me to go pro?" And it was a guy that looks like he's maybe been in the gym for 3 months, 4 months. And basically, the premise of what Marcus was saying in the video was it is like it's okay to be honest with people in the sense of like, hey, maybe this isn't for you, but that doesn't mean that nothing is. You know what I mean? Like you're chasing this dream, and that's okay to chase this dream. It's okay to find some level of involvement in that community if that is your dream. It's just you're going to put so much time, energy, money, um, just so much of yourself into something, all for you to realize that you're mimicking someone else
Hmm.
at the end of the day, and
Yeah.
and you will never find fulfillment in that until you come to that realization and find your own fulfillment.
Right. And yeah, it goes back to that whole comparison is the thief of joy, right? So
Yeah,
if there's an individual with subpar genetics and they're obsessing over like physiques that they will never achieve because they weren't born in that body, and then they start convincing themselves, okay, well, GettyFit's on steroids, Shizzy's on steroids, and if I take steroids, this is a lie that they're telling themselves. If I take steroids, then I can compare to these guys when that was never the purpose in the first place. Like they were never supposed to chase after a different physique beyond their own, you know? Then I also think let me get your perspective on this because and like this is it's a slightly different scenario, but you remember like American Idol and like that those first couple of like episodes before they like start like whittling down the competition and it's like completely open auditions and they would filter in the bad singers.
for entertainment.
Yeah, and I would always think about that. It's like these singers, like these people who like want to be the next American Idol, they have no sense of self-awareness that they're literally being filtered into the show.
Very similar.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
similar.
And it's like this is a different situation because like those people with bad physiques, they get to take steroids. And in American Idol, they don't get to take like some kind of
Mm-mm.
fake thing to make themselves sound as good as a good singer.
And 9 times out of 10, that person that we're talking about who is just dying for attention in the sense of I've seen everybody on social media do this. I need to look like this too to reach that level. They 9 times out of 10 get themselves 10 feet deep in that hole and they're like, holy shit, I look terrible. You know what I mean? Or like,
Yeah.
holy shit, I don't look anything like they do.
Yeah.
And then it completely destroys their passion for it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I know quite a few people who, you know, like just as a result of, social media and how aggressive this community is growing, people will throw themselves into it full fledged and, a fucking year later they'll burn themselves out on it and
Yeah.
never even consider it again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Let me get your take on this, because like you and I, like we're both not really interested in taking steroids for our own respective reasons. What's your opinion on, like, you'll have an athlete, like let's say an IFBB pro, and they are openly talking about like their steroid usage, but then they talk down on other supplements or other versions of augmentations or enhancements, like within the sport of bodybuilding, they talk poorly of synthol, and synthol is like an oil that you inject into your body
Inject in your
parts,
muscles, yeah.
yeah, in order to create the perception of bigger and more full
Hmm.
muscles. So it's like, from their perspective, oh man, I've never touched synthol, but they're very open about using steroids. It's like, I have a hard time trying to understand, like, what's the difference.
Agreed, because like there's a list of supplements that I use. L-carnitine is something that's kind of like really hitting the block right now on TikTok Shop and TikTok in general. That is something I've been using religiously for probably 4 years now. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say I would attribute all my success to it physically,
Mm-hmm.
but I definitely think it's, substantially helped.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in that same sense, if I meet somebody who is running gear, whether it be something minor like Anavar, or they are going full-fledged D-ball, trend, shit like that, I'll be like, so did you start with creatine? Did you start with, basic stuff like Tongat Ali or
Right.
turkesterone?
Right. Right.
Stuff that has like federally regulated stuff that has research backing it and stuff
Right.
before you took that step. And almost every single time they're like, oh yeah, like creatine this, creatine that, but I usually, I reached 220 and I decided that, it's about time. And it's like, man,
Yeah. Yeah.
like 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 another comparison is like some people say, like weed, for example. They'll be like, weed helps me, like if they're a writer, for example, they'll be weed makes me more creative. It opens my mind. It makes me work better, work harder, work longer. And like a comparison I'll make is like, okay, cool. Like I'm super glad that that works for you, but what do you like? Imagine if you never would have started using that. Like imagine how powerful your mind would have been without it.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Imagine how powerful you'd feel, and imagine how powerful you would be having never considered that. You know what I mean? And you truly reached your own fulfilling potential.
You're preaching to the choir. I literally just quit smoking weed for that very reason. For that very
Hmm.
reason, I quit smoking weed because I was starting to use it as a handicap, as like a form of like I'm relying on it. And the
Yeah.
moment that I was able to acknowledge I'm relying on weed, I gotta stop it.
I'll say this. That's a not necessarily a struggle, but something I've kind of like ping-ponged with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I am 100% a user. You know what I mean? When I find something I like, I enjoy it, and I enjoy it to the absolute maximum, you know? A year ago, when I got back into the restaurant industry, I hadn't drank in 2, 3 years. They opened my eyes to that, and I'm like, fuck, this is fun. I want to do this all the time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've been smoking for 5, 6 years, you know what I mean? And I've definitely had my fair share of problems with it, whether it be I'm not hungry unless I'm high,
Yeah.
or I can't focus unless I'm high. I can't go to sleep unless I'm high. I'll
Right.
notice those problems and I'll dial it back. But one thing I will say that I'm not necessarily proud of, but I'm I have no problem admitting is I have vices. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
will I will always have my vices.
Yeah.
And at this current point, if I like I'm very like I have myself under self-control right now. I wouldn't even consider smoking it until I'm on my last meal of the day, all my training's done, and I know that I can just do that and then, mellow out, enjoy my night. That that is control. But waking up and, throwing my lighter on my blunt or whatever and getting my day started like that. That's no efficient way to start my day.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I've definitely had to rebound in that sense. But I mean, I totally understand that in the sense of like years ago, I would tell myself, I'm gonna get home, I'm gonna smoke because it's my recovery. You know what I mean? Like I'm like that, like what's my recovery? Oh, I just go to sleep and I smoke. That's not recovery, man. That's not
Agreed.
recovery.
Agreed. Well, let me ask you this, because like I see the growth, and I was impressed with who you were as a young man 3 years ago or 2 years ago. I keep fucking it up, but I was impressed with who you were 2 years ago, and when I met you then, you were like incredibly focused, and you knew who you were, you knew where you were going, and 2 years have passed, and I see even more growth, maturity, and development. So I would love to get like an idea as to like what does the future hold for you? Like what does it look like for you? Like where are you taking this, if anywhere?
It's a great question, man. I'm kind of stuck in my ways right now, to be honest. I have so much, like I have so much ambition, it's almost crippling. You know what I mean? Like
I
to the
gathered that from the last time I talked to you.
to the point where I feel like obligated to make something happen at all times.
Hmm.
And I know, like you like you can watch a video about Robin Williams or about Steph Curry, and when they're younger, there is a clip of all of these people somewhere saying, I know I have something. There's something somewhere for me. I just don't know where it is yet. And that is what fucking cripples me to my core, man. I know that I'm going to serve a greater purpose. I know that I'm going to demonstrate. I know that I'm going to demonstrate. I'm a very faithful man, in the same sense. I'm gonna demonstrate how far I can take myself with God, and on top of that, how far I can take myself in general. I don't know where my path is going to take me. I would love to be a model. I would love to be an actor. I would love
Great.
to. I would love to be, you know, anything along those lines. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
I'd love to be an influencer. I'd love to have a
yeah,
podcast. I'd love to, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Anything along those lines. I
yeah,
just don't know exactly what yet. And I kind of take everything with a grain of salt.
yeah,
I pray a lot. I consider a lot. Um, I'm just not. Like I said, I'm a very all or nothing person. So I kind of have to pick and choose because if the correct opportunity did present it to myself, I would go full fledged.
yeah.
So
100%. I love this. I love everything that you're saying. We need people like you. And when I say we, I mean like the world needs people like you. I'm going to plant the seed now. Lifestyle athlete. Lifestyle athlete, which is like the concept of, so like if you take an athlete and let's say it's like basketball, let's say like we take like a Michael Jordan type athlete within like the sport of NBA. He comes into the league and his goal is to be like the greatest basketball player of all time, right? And then he goes through the process of developing his skills day in and day out, practicing, getting better, and like accruing championships, right? My goal so far as like I'm in LA and I am a storyteller, I'm a documentarian. Right now I'm working on a project called The Natty King. But my ultimate goal is to display athletes as they move through life, like basically displaying how an athlete would tackle their life as if it were a sport. So taking the same
I like that.
mindset of like a Michael Jordan or a Kobe Bryant, where he's got the Mamba mentality, and you're applying that mentality, that mindset, that growth mindset, to how you move through the world and make the world a better place. So it's
I
like,
love that.
yeah, and like you're talking about growth, and you're talking about knowing that you have this edge about you, and then it would basically be taking that edge and seeing how you actually affect your environment, knowing that you are a role model, knowing that you are leading by example, and we actually just display that in the format of television, film. You'd be playing yourself
Yeah,
as a lifestyle athlete, and then you're like you would become the star of your own show, so to speak.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude, that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's badass.
yeah, yeah. So I
I
want to
love
do
that
that for,
concept.
yeah, for people like you, and then I'm sure you're familiar with like Marvel Cinematic Universe, right?
Hmm.
So it would be like our own cinematic universe. It's called the Nattyverse, where we would take lifestyle athletes across the world, and like wherever you are, that's where you are. But we would connect you guys. We would connect you with other athletes, and then, again, it's like the assembling of the Avengers.
It's
So
like
it's
the
like you're
Avengers.
living,
Yeah,
yeah, like you're living your own story wherever you are, And then like if you're interacting with another lifestyle athlete, then it's like these two people are doing like a collab. And
Yeah,
yeah,
networking, collaboration, stuff like that.
yeah, yeah,
That's dope, dude. I
yeah,
like that.
yeah. So that's exactly what I've been working on since I met you. That's like the project. Right now, it's starting out first as the Natty King project, which is like 30 natural bodybuilders all competing for a $1 million cash prize. That's the flagship project. That's yeah, yeah. So we've been assembling that. I assembled 10 athletes this year, so I've got 10 confirmed athletes for that project, and then I'm going to be recruiting another 10 next year, and then another 10 in 2027, with the intention of going into full production in 2028 with that project. But that's really supposed to be a flagship. So like once we actually get the green light for that, we're aiming for Netflix in 2028. Then it's off to the races. Then it's like, okay, we've got natural bodybuilders, we've got a lifestyle athlete who like maybe he's not competing as a natural bodybuilder, but he's still a natural. He's still a
Yeah,
natural athlete, and he's making the world a better place in his community.
dude, I'm loving that.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm loving that.
Well, dude, you planted the seed for me, man. So I'm replanting the seed for you, because like again, you were the first person I spoke to, and your enthusiasm, your focus, your drive. That's what gave me the inspiration. Like I want to connect you guys. Like I want to meet more people like you and create that cinematic universe within this world, and like show how like there's a bunch of cool people walking around who just focus on bettering themselves, and like
Yeah,
you should join this tribe. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
yeah,
dude. I'm first of all, thank you. Like I appreciate that so much. And also, dude, you have a lot to be proud of. A
thank
lot
you,
to be proud of.
thank you.
Like that is something so admirable. And I want to say, dude, however I can help, however I can participate, please let me know.
Well, I mean, you're so like you're so locked in, and like that hasn't changed. So like the fact that you haven't changed in that way, like just stay locked in. Like you inspire the fuck out of me. Like honestly. So like your ability to dial in on yourself is like that's more than enough, and then it just becomes a matter of like getting the resources that are required in order to better tell your story
The
on my level.
story.
Yeah, you get it. Yeah,
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 dude. Awesome, man. This
yeah.
is dope.
hmm
This is sick.
But in the meantime, like yeah, just keep being yourself. Keep like you already said, you're stuck in your ways. Stay stuck in your ways
Oh,
because
dude,
you're
trust me,
you're a
I'm not
positive
going anywhere.
influence. Yeah,
I'm not going nowhere.
yeah, man. Yeah. Well,
Nothing
shit,
can
man.
nothing can kill this, man.
I
Nothing can
love it.
kill it.
And I always felt that way. Like whenever I spoke to you, it's like this guy's locked in, and it's like that's like a phrase I've been getting familiar with because like I'm not an athlete. Like I just got into like when I met you was when I first started immersing myself in the mindset of an athlete, and
Yeah,
then I started seeing like the concept of an athlete can be applied to how a person lives life. It's a growth mindset that an athlete has because their desire is to improve upon oneself. And that's something that we can all, like humanity, has an opportunity to take away from. Like we should all be improving upon ourselves instead of just like going to work, working the 9 to 5, going home and watching Netflix.
and
Like that
even
is,
and even if that is your life, there is an abundance of opportunities to better yourself in that sense. You know what I mean? Like even if your job is if you're bagging groceries at the grocery store, there is endless opportunities for you to grow in that space and become the absolute best person you
yeah,
possibly could be. In whatever avenue of life that is,
yeah,
like if that like whether it be your passion or not, if you're improving, you're improving. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's kind of how I like to look at it. Like I take pride in being coachable. I take pride in what I try to do is be slow to speak and quick to listen. And and more so recently as I've adopted that, I have learned so much. You know what I mean? Not only about myself, but about other people and about how I can apply myself to other people. You know what I mean? Because just as much as someone can learn from me, I can learn from them. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. So I'm 100% with you. I'm also going to say, since like the seed has been planted, our target audience is definitely going to be the youth.
Oh,
We're
for
looking
sure.
to yeah, we're looking to inspire the youth. So like we're mentors at this point. We're masters. I look at this kind of more like a discipline, like very similar to like martial arts. Like the way that we choose to live our life and lead by example, that is the thing that we are selling. And then it just becomes a matter of like how are we capturing this movement. Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Hmm.
You just fired me up.
Hell yeah. I mean, dude,
You just
we're
fired me up, dude.
it comes
Fucking
full
8:30
circle.
at night over here, and I'm fired up.
Well, I got leg day ahead of me, so I'm gonna use that.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But dude, like I'm so glad that we were able to reconnect. I'm glad that like you're back in the world, you're back in the space. Like let's not be strangers.
Oh,
And
dude, no, trust me. We should do this again soon.
I'm down. I'm down.
Do
Yeah,
this again
like
soon. I'll coordinate something so I can get more of my, like, I didn't really acknowledge to my demographic, my fans or anything like that I was going live today. So
yeah.
I'll make it clear pretty soon, and we'll get a pretty dense audience in here.
Yeah, and like the more that like we connect, like something blossoms between like when two minds, like when two shared minds come together with like a very common purpose, something happens. And like the more that we
100%.
do it, it grows and it becomes bigger and it becomes more refined and clearer. And that's one thing I've spoken to since you and I have spoken. I've spoken to like 50 people, like just like this,
Hmm.
and some people keep coming back, and something blossoms from like repeated conversations. Sometimes it's like a one and done, which is fine. Like I'm not sweating anything.
Yeah,
But I have observed that like the more times I talk to one specific person, we can just build a lot better. That's just my observation.
we're gonna build, man. We're gonna build.
I'm down.
We're gonna stay in touch. We're gonna stay in
I'm
touch. You're a
down.
good dude. You're a good dude. I love your ideology. I love your philosophy. I want to stay in touch.
I'm down, bro. Like I'm all about making movies. I came to LA to make movies, so like that's what I'm here for. So I consider myself a producer. I've already co-produced a film, came out last year. My focus is telling real life stories, but presenting them as if it's like true cinema. Like
Understood.
I want to blend reality with like fucking epic level cinema. Like
Hell
that's my
yeah.
jam. That's who I am.
I fucking love it, dude.
Yeah.
And at some point in the near future, I'm gonna get out there soon and we can connect in
Oh, yeah.
person too.
I'm down. I'm down. Let's do it.
Dude, it was a
Cool.
fucking blast talking, man.
Yeah.
Fucking blast.
As always, bro.
I'm gonna send you my personal information and we'll stay in touch.
I love it. I love it. I'm gonna go crush this leg day.
Take it easy, brother.
All right,
Kill
bro.
it.
I'll talk to you soon.
Kill it. For
All
sure,
right, bro.
man. Thank you.
Let's do it. Let's do it.